What a burger!
You are listening to the Longhorn Podcast. To the Longhorn Podcast.
End zone ahead, folks. Touchdown, Longhorns.
With Danny. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. And Marcus. Does somebody know the number for Pluckers? Released once a week, every Tuesday. Much better than all those other Longhorn podcasts. You are listening to the Longhorn Podcast. To the Longhorn Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Longhorn Podcast, the most popular Longhorn podcast on the face of the planet. I'm Danny. I'm here with Marcus. Marcus, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing, Danny?
Doing so well. I just returned from the Middle East. I was in the United Arab Emirates.
And you got back in.
I did get back in. I did. It was crazy. There was, I'm going to say, a little bit of tension on the flight, considering the fact that everyone was Muslim in flying into America.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I made it back. God knows what happened to the dudes that were sitting next to me. But yeah, you know, and it's appropriate because today our special guest is Donald Trump.
DT on the show. Donald Trump making an appearance today. I'm excited, I guess. Yeah, I think I'm excited. He's got some ideas around how to make Texas football great again, which, you know, listen, I'm open. I'm going to be open. I want to give him a chance. I'm going to try and give him a chance to tell us what his big plan is to make UT football great again. So yeah, look forward to that.
Hashtag he is our president. And hashtag he is our president. And, you know, a lot of people say that he should be working on, immigration, nuclear non-proliferation, the potential trade war that we're about to have with Mexico. They say he should be focusing on that and not on the University of Texas's football program, but he's made it a big priority. So we got to talk to him about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I've realized about Donald Trump is he's a master of time management. I think what I've read about his schedule, he's maintained the same schedule he had at Trump Tower. So he gets up at 6 a.m., nice, reasonably early wake up time. And
but fucks a Polish prostitute.
Obviously gets a golden shower all over his chest, showers up, and then watches the news for 3 hours and kind of gets to work at about 9, which is...
Is that actually the schedule?
That's actually his schedule, and it's not that far from my schedule, but I run a small business and a podcast, not the free world. I don't know if there's a big difference. I mean, if you asked him, probably not, right? Tomatoes. So
how could you watch the news? Who watches the news for 3 hours? That's crazy.
Well, when your face is all over it, it must be really hard to stop watching. I think that's probably what happens. He just gets so sucked into hearing his own voice. It's like when you or I listen to the podcast, it's like we just listen to it on loop over and over and over and over.
3 hours
again.
every morning.
Exactly, for 3 hours every morning. So, I mean, I kind of get it. Again, he is our president. I'm going to give him a chance. So interested to see what he has to say about that. I think otherwise we're going to give everybody a bit of an update on Tom Herman, him continuing to build out support staff, some of the new recruits coming in.
By stealing from everyone.
It's the only way you win. It's the only way you win in America anymore. So who has Tom Herman stolen today? Actually, a couple people, we're going to talk about that. We'll also talk about the special relationship Tom Herman has with his strength and conditioning coach. We'll do some Texas news today in Texas. We've got a new segment that we're pretty stoked on that Daniel will talk about a little bit later. And then we'll get Trump on here and going to try and keep this one tight. So who has Tom Herman stolen today, Danny?
He's stolen their graphic designer. Tom Herman was not happy with the consistent depictions of Vince Young running across USC's touchdown line, which I think was all that Texas sports was. I actually have to say our graphic design was pretty bad before. It was pretty bad. I think that even when you're trying to buy a Texas shirt, they're not really that great. I mean, but you can buy dry fit shirts and stuff.
to me, like the burnt orange background with a white Longhorn, like it's like, can you improve on perfection? And that's what I'm not. It's like saying that the Yankees have terrible graphic design. It's like, no, it's just classic and iconic. But then again, any staff we can steal from Alabama, I am all for. So I support this full-heartedly.
I supported it as well, but is Tom Herman stealing too many people and creating too many enemies?
No, I mean, it's us versus the world. I mean, it's like this podcast, you know.
It is us versus the world. Yeah,
it's us versus the world. So I think it's the same for UT football, and you know, the more bridges Tom Herman can burn, the better, as far as I'm concerned.
100%. And I actually stole the graphic designer for us from the Longhorn Shits.
Oh, nice. Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's our new graphic designer. And I'm gonna fire him right after this because I want him to quit his job.
Because he works for the Longhorn Shits. Fuck him.
Because the thing is, I don't know if I can trust him, Marcus. That's the thing is, Tom Herman, I mean, he's playing a dangerous game, and can we trust this graphic designer? Is he going to be secretly putting things into the graphic designs that might actually sway recruits back to Alabama? Is he, do you think that Nick Saban's, he's a double agent? What do you think about that?
Well, I think like the real question is like, is he big media? Because that's my big concern is like, is he the mainstream liberal media that's just going to sell UT fans lies and deception and lie about polling numbers, among other things, So from that perspective, like TBD, we're going to have to give him a religious test and find out. I think if it comes out correct, then he has nothing to worry about.
Yeah, we'll give him that Christian blood test, and if it comes out positive, then I'm fine with him doing graphic design for us. Otherwise, I'm not sure. Maybe stay in that liberal haven, Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Right, exactly.
Where the liberal media thrives. So I want to move on to our next segment. Recruiting, and when it comes to recruiting, I like to do my segment, Do We Hate? Marcus, explain Do We Hate?
So, folks, Do We Hate is a weekly segment we do where we take a UT recruit, we look at their Twitter feed, and we basically try and figure out, do we hate this guy? Do we hate him? Right, as Mac Brown would say, like, is he a character guy? Is he a football guy?
Yeah.
So that's what we do. We take a look and say, based on their Twitter feed, is this the right type of player for Texas? Do we hate this guy or do we love him? And we let you know.
So today's subject of Do We Hate is Samuel Cosme. He's 6'5", 260 pounds. He is another person that Tom Herman has stolen from Houston. Tom Herman has raped the Houston class, and this guy's no exception. So, yeah, he's flipped to Texas. He's an offensive tackle. He received an offer from the Horned Frog, so I always like to know who they've been offered. So that's good. And, he went in, saw the facilities, and just said, hey, I gotta be a member of the UT sports. So I've gone to his page, Samuel Cosme. The only thing he has, number one, on the top of his page, he's got, the UT flags, spell out Texas. I love that. Mm-hmm. It just says UT commit. He's wearing a tuxedo. He's posing with his mama. First tweet I see is, I'm so proud of my bro. God has blessed you with such an amazing talent. Love you, and I'm so happy for you. That's from his sister. But then there's something very concerning on here. Everything I've liked. But there's a photo of him with a top hat that I've seen, and I don't know. What do you think about him wearing this top hat, Marcus?
I mean, listen, I think. Okay, here's what it looks like to me. It looks like he is. This was posted by what appears to be his sister. I'm so proud of my bro. God has blessed you with such an amazing talent. I love you. I'm so happy. #hook'em. Yeah, he's wearing a stupid hat, but we're getting the hook'em. We're getting a little Longhorn emoji, and he's obviously a family first kind of guy. Like, he retweeted his sister's tweet. There's a lot of pictures of them hanging out. I think that's pretty cool. I think he looks like a character guy to me. He looks like a football guy. I mean, he looks like a football guy. He uses the word blessed a lot. he got a lot of home visits, you can tell from his Twitter feed, by the likes of the Nebraska head coach, Major Applewhite's in the living room, and these Texas could. They love the living room. So he had some interest. He's a Houston native, and I think this guy was like pretty much halfway in the door with the Cougars in Houston and said, fuck all that. I'm going to be a Longhorn. So that's not enough to not get the hate. But with everything I'm seeing, I like this kid. I like him. He's a football guy. He's got his graphic design and his airbrush images are down low, in terms of amount.
Kept at a minimum.
Kept at a minimum.
They're kept at a minimum.
Kept at a minimum.
He looks great in a tuxedo.
Yep. I think he's going to represent the
him.
University well. Yeah, I think we love this guy.
I wish he was a 4-star. I'm not.
Hey, sure.
We're getting all these 3 stars. I mean, I'm fine with it, but I wish he was another 4-star recruit.
Well,
but what are you going to do?
Let me ask you this: would you rather have good character quality 3 stars or 4 stars that go to Baylor to sexually assault women?
Oh, Marcus, don't put me on the spot like this.
I mean, this is it, man. That is the question.
You know how much I love my Baylor recruits. But given the recent allegations that, what was it, like 52 gang rapes or something?
Yeah,
52.
It was 52 incidents of sexual assault in 4 years with that Art Briles show 'em a good time attitude. That was the recruiting.
Art Briles.
Show 'em a good time.
What a cock. Will he ever work again? Like, is Art Briles like, and also, how the fuck is he not in jail right now?
Oh, for sure he's going to work again. He's going to be like, he'll start out as like a special assistant to the offensive coordinator, or like, it'll be something where he's like not a coach. He's just like an outside consultant. And then he'll weasel his way into like a position coach. And then 4 years from now, maybe less, he'll be on the sideline as an offensive coordinator somewhere. And, who knows? I mean, maybe Texas Tech will want a new coach. I don't know.
Hey man, Chris Brown is still singing.
Exactly.
Woody Allen's still making movies.
Exactly.
If you come with the goods, which Art Briles has, and a record of being fairly responsible for 52 sexual assaults, but he's got a Southern accent. Talks about Jesus.
He's a football guy.
He's a football guy.
He's a
football guy.
And
all right.
we know how important that is. So I think can we safely say Sam Cosmi, the highest in 3-star recruit you could ask for. We like this guy.
Yeah, we like him. We don't hate him. If the amount of fedoras, if he consistently starts wearing fedoras, we hate him. You need to own a Cuban restaurant.
I'm gonna say
if you're doing that.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say that was like senior prom at high school or something. He was wearing a top hat. He was being a little silly, but good for him, right?
Yeah.
So let's keep going here. There's an interesting ESPN article I wanted to touch on, and we've actually kind of talked about this in a previous podcast, but it's basically Tom Herman has a very special relationship with his strength and conditioning coach, and I still don't. We were kind of talking about this. I still don't really understand all the rules around when you can and cannot talk to players in the off season. I think the NCAA has some pretty strict rules on how much contact coaches can have and like how much they can ask a player to do in terms of practices and all this other stuff. So the way it's kind of described in this article is essentially in January, you like drop the keys off to the program with a strength and conditioning coach, pick them back up in July while you're doing all this other stuff, and they're working with players day to day. And Tom Herman saw that Urban Meyer had this like amazing strength and conditioning coach, and Urban Meyer brought this guy everywhere. This guy Mickey Mariotti, and it was like he was basically the acting head coach from January to July. And this was the first hire he had when Myers got the Ohio State job. His strength and conditioning coach was the first hire he had. He He has the longest contract of anybody on the Buckeye staff. He's locked up through 2020. He's paid more than $500,000 a year. We know Tom Herman's, learned a lot under Meyer, and he's clearly like sort of bought into this idea. So they've been working together. McKnight and Herman have been working together since 2007. So 10 years they've been working together since Herman was at Rice. And it sounds cool. I mean, I didn't really realize. Did you kind of get this, like how important of a position this really was?
No, but I do know that the NCAA is all about retarded workarounds for rules, for like arbitrary rules that they make. So I mean, it's not surprising, but it's odd that the strength and condition, like that's the one coach that can spend so much time with them. And again, I want to know. I mean, obviously he could talk to Tom Herman, like they could meet, down. They could have some secret meeting under 35 or something, and he could, talk to him about what's going on with the players. But yeah, it's like we've talked about this a few times, and I think all it would take is us to just like Google it,
right?
And then we could know exactly what the rules are. If somebody knows, by the way, please email us or write a review on iTunes and explain this to us. Like, what exactly can the strength and conditioning coach talk to the head coach about?
It doesn't even have to be a good review. You could just be like, hey, idiots, like, here are the NCAA rules around this. Just any way you can figure out how to communicate with us, please do about this, because I for the life of me, cannot figure out Google. But, I mean, there are Houston...
What do you do?
Right. I mean, computers, am I right? But yeah, you've got Houston players who are just like one of the biggest parts of the program was Coach McKnight, because obviously he was at Houston. So I'm kind of interested. They segment their players based on how much work they need. Like there's gold, green, and crimson. Crimson's supposed to be like an allusion to Oklahoma. You don't want to be crimson, right? So it's interesting, and it sounds like, at least, in Tom Herman's perspective, it's going to make a big difference to the program. So I'm kind of stoked. I'm into that.
By the way, speaking of reviews, I don't know if you've seen this, Marcus. We have a new review on iTunes from Texas Little Cakes. 5 stars.
Ooh.
Enjoying this so far, exclamation point, exclamation point. And then it says, hilarious, makes me hungry for Texas toast and Little Debbie cakes.
Wow. And
Texas Little Cakes, I agree with you 100%.
You know what my favorite part about that review is?
What?
I only had to pay the Slovenian like $6 to write it. There's these websites. These websites are incredible now. I mean, we're going to have a lot more reviews really soon. Trust me, Danny. They're going to be in Cyrillic Russian, but they're going to be there. So get ready.
I wonder if the Latvian that you hired has ever had a Little Debbie cake, or if, if that was allowed under Soviet rule, or if they're called like victory cakes or something over there.
Right. You had them once a year on Stalin's birthday, and you split them 6 ways. That was how the victory cakes worked. Yeah, but pretty cool. And
I would,
yeah. Go ahead.
They're also not sweet. They're made out of salt.
They're made out of Siberian mined salt. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. With like fish skin. So yeah, I'm happy for I hope, hey, to Texas Little Cakes. I hope that your country is free. I hope that you can support your family. And I'm glad that Marcus and I are helping you put, more rubles in your pocket, if that's whatever your money is. I don't know what you spend money. I don't know what you do with your time. And frankly, I don't care, and I don't want you to expect any more out of me. Okay, that's my message to Texas Little Debbie Cakes, or whatever.
Not in my backyard, Texas Little Debbie Cakes.
You know what? I take back what I said. I don't want the review. Okay, if you're not from here, I don't want the review.
I'm gonna talk to iTunes about getting that down. It really is unacceptable.
Yeah, let's
Put
get
it
it
that way.
Let's get
it's
it down.
Unacceptable.
Because our stats have shown that we're growing significantly in Eastern Europe, and I get a shot of adrenaline every time I see those stats.
the stats are the only thing that gets me out of bed in the morning. So yeah, thank God we're seeing growth somewhere, whether it be Eastern Europe or elsewhere. That's again, it's the only thing keeping me going anymore.
Yeah.
Let's move on. We've got Today in Texas, where we give you just a bit of Texas news. Today it's also football related. Interesting story in USA Today about McKinney in McKinney, Texas, not far from your hometown of South Lake Carroll, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Yeah, I used to play hockey against McKinney. Now, I'm from, I'm going to say a wealthy community. You know, South Lake, it has the highest human to Hummer ratio out of anywhere else in the world.
Be proud.
In fact,
be proud of that.
I am proud. I think the H2 Hummer is really what did it, and they never really fell out of style. So we would do we would play hockey games and stuff against McKinney, and they definitely didn't have many Hummers there. That's how I'm going to put it. So the amount that they are spending on this stadium is surprising me.
Just to keep it in perspective, the amount of energy it took to keep Danny's ice rink cold in South Lake Carroll could literally fuel an entire Latvian village for a week. So, just again, perspective
for a year.
Perspective
for
matters.
A year. Easily, it could buy so many victory cakes,
but these
hundreds of thousands of victory cakes.
These Jamooks up in where is it, McKinney? They are building a $63 million high school football stadium.
Money well spent.
It makes sense. I mean, you're going to get a huge return on that investment because you can charge, what, $40, $50, $60 for a high school football game? Wait, sorry, no, I'm being told high school football games are often free for most attendance and cost only a couple of dollars for everybody else. So maybe they're like really going to make it up on concessions. Maybe they'll sell 90,000 Miller Lights. Like, I don't know how the hell you pay for that, but it's a bond measure, so it's all debt. All right. Way to go, McKinney.
So is it sort of like, U2 is going to bypass the American Airlines Center and just go straight to McKinney's football stadium?
Exactly. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, exactly. Maybe they're going to host, like, it'll be a venue. I don't know. I don't really understand the economics behind this. But
it's the most. All right, look, if you work for McKinney, for the city of McKinney, or you are a resident there, I just want to let you know that what you did is the most financially irresponsible thing I've ever heard of. $63 million for a fucking high school like, I like high school football. $63 million. Do you know how many Taco Bell value meals that is? I think I looked at it. It's about $1 billion.
In terms that may even make more sense, you could send 630 high school students to the University of Texas for free for that amount of money. One guy, there was a dude, this is kind of funny. There's a dude who I think was like a real estate developer named Mike Giles or Gillis. And he went door to door. He knocked on 1,000 doors trying to stop them from passing this, being like, this is crazy. This is nuts. Yeah. And it passed overwhelmingly. 2/3 majority voted for it. It was an easy yes. Easy yes.
Was this real estate agent's real name Hillary Rodham Clinton?
Mike Giles. I already told you. I mean,
Mike Giles.
Just to put it in perspective, like, so
I don't know if it was Hillary in disguise.
Reliant Stadium in Houston, where the Texans play, is a $350 million stadium that's going to host a Super Bowl. Like, I know that's what I know that's a lot more. That's like 5 or 6 of these, or like 6 or 7 of these stadiums. But like, it's going to host a Super Bowl, and it's going to have a ton of events, concerts, etc. to recoup that money. Like, it's nuts. It's nuts. Today in Texas, folks. That's your Today in Texas segment. Danny, you've got a new segment for us.
Yes, I have a new segment, Marcus. It's called Texas or Germany. I stole this from Adam Carolla because his was Germany or Florida.
He appreciates the
Texas,
citation.
Yeah, he appreciates it. He hasn't done it in a little while, and we have a German tradition in Texas. The chicken fried steak, for example, is just kind of a derivative of schnitzel. So we have lots of Fredericksburg. We got a lot of Germans in Texas. So I'm going to read a headline, and Marcus is going to tell me if it happened in Germany or it happened in Texas. Okay,
I'm pretty excited. I have not
All right.
I have not heard these headlines yet, so I'm pretty excited.
Okay, first one, Germany or Texas. Deer crashes through car's windshield, lands in backseat.
I mean, that has basically happened to me on 360, so I'm pretty sure that's Texas.
That is Texas.
Okay, all right, yeah,
That is Texas.
that was too easy. I mean, how many deers have you hit in Texas driving on a road with no streetlights, going 60 miles an hour?
Not as many as I would have liked. Actually, I'm surprised that hasn't happened to me before.
Yeah, I actually am too.
I don't know.
I don't know how to explain that. All right, next headline.
Teen finds 17-ounce gold bar while swimming in lake.
That has to be Germany. I mean, these are supposed to be a little more challenging. The only only place you're going to find just like you just stumble upon gold is in fucking Germany, where they just stole everybody's and hit it all over the country. So
okay, all right. Fair enough. Okay, what about this? Model says this was a news headline. Model says she's really pumped about her refillable breast implants. In 2012, Martina had a high-flying career as a flight attendant, but the job didn't get her as pumped as she'd like. And now she's got these refillable breast implants.
Well, I'll
Germany
say,
or Texas?
Okay. There are too many really good puns in that. Wasn't flying high enough. Wasn't pumped up enough. I mean, that's some catch. I'm gonna say German. The Germans have a way with the language. That whole sentence was actually one word in German. I'm gonna say that's Germany.
It is Germany. How about this? Drunken man found asleep on horse.
I'm gonna say Texas.
No, Germany.
Ooh.
And last one, the headline says onion truck ironically catches fire near Frying Pan Road. I have no idea what that means.
Oh man. I'm going to go Texas. I'm going to go Texas on that one.
It is Texas.
Okay. That's pretty good.
There you have it.
All right.
Yeah.
I like that
I just don't
segment.
understand how a truck Yeah, it's fun. I don't understand how a truck ironically
yeah, I mean,
catches on fire.
I was kind of laughing as soon as it was like ironically catches on fire. Like yeah, I guess that's ironic. I guess that's sort of because like you cook onions in frying pans. I don't know.
Yeah.
but-
Yeah. I guess. Yeah.
Again, like a German newspaper would have come up with something much more clever.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, great. Well, I think we're ready to bring on our guest.
Yeah,
today, Marcus.
I think.
He's
He's a busy guy. I think he's got an important nap to attend after this. So let's.
He's a president of the United States. Marcus, what can you tell us about what he's been doing in the studio prior to coming on the show?
He's been eating a lot of candy and just watching Fox News, just watching like CNN and Fox. And I think he keeps like changing the channel. I think he's just looking for his face. He sort of like stops whenever he sees his face, and then he eats a bunch of Skittles and gets really excited. And then as soon as they cut away, he goes on to the next one. But anyway,
hashtag my president.
Hashtag,
yeah, well, Donald Trump. Let's bring him in. Donald, are you there?
Hello, Danny. Hello, Marcus. It's great to be on the greatest University of Texas podcast. I chose your podcast very specifically because it's the best. It's the greatest. And Donald only goes on the best.
Ah, God, Donald, thank you so much. I sincerely appreciate. A lot of people say you're maybe the worst person on the planet, but from what you just said, buddy, you're welcome at my house anytime. You can have the
More
keys.
lies,
I trust
more
you.
liberal media lies. You know, they don't want to admit that people love the Donald. It doesn't surprise me that you've heard that, and it's just not true. It isn't.
I know, and we people have claimed that we are part of the liberal media. Donald, I've heard some odd things about maybe a ban on commits. Can you kind of go through that with me and kind of like what your actual position with the university is?
Yep. So I listen. For me, it's about making University of Texas football great again. And here's my plan.
Okay.
We're no longer going to be accepting recruits from Oklahoma, from Florida, from Alabama, from Ohio, or from Saudi Arabia. Okay? There is an indefinite ban on recruits from any and all of these places.
Wow. I've also heard that you've restricted them from going to airports. So recruits that, or their families. So recruits that are already down in Texas are not allowed to, they're not allowed on the team and they're not allowed to return.
Lies. Donald Trump is not stopping anybody from getting on a plane as long as it's not going from Florida to Texas for a recruiting trip. I don't know what they don't understand. I just don't.
And it's I guess a security measure. I mean, players from, I guess to me, the most dangerous would be out of the 5 that you listed, Oklahoma and Arkansas. So you just don't want them around for safety?
They're vicious places, Danny. And it's not their fault. They didn't ask for that, but they're terrible, awful, bombed out, decrepit, ugly. Did I mention ugly? All the girls are 2s. They're all 2s. There's no the best looking girl in Oklahoma is a 7, Danny. Can you imagine?
Oh,
it's terrible.
I can't imagine
it's
that.
Terrible. It's terrible. Okay, so
Donald, I've also heard that you've put Steve Bannon. You've taken out our AD Mike Perrin, and you've put in Steve Bannon as the new athletic director of Texas. Can you kind of explain that and explain his background or if he's qualified for that position?
Steve's going to be playing a minor role in the program. That's all I have to say about it right now.
I've also heard that Steve Bannon is going to be the starting quarterback for the University of Texas, which is kind of crazy because he's, I think, in his late 50s and a right-wing journalist and not a supple 22-year-old football player. Is he really qualified to play quarterback for the University of Texas?
Now, is Steve going to play quarterback? Everybody wants to know, is Steve going to play quarterback? Hey, Donald, is Steve going to play quarterback? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. You'll find out when I sign the order. Okay?
Okay. And, okay, so we'll see when you sign the order. I've also heard that all Muslim players on the team will have their ankles broken. Is that the case?
That's such a lie. That is such a lie. You know as well as I do, there are no Muslim football players at the University of Texas, Danny.
Well, hey, everybody. Our president and Lord and Savior, Donald J. Trump. Donald Trump.
Wow. Okay. All right. That was educational. I mean, hashtag he is our president.
He is our AD.
He is our now. He is our AD. Hashtag he is our AD.
Well, hey Marcus. I think it was a great episode. Thanks for taking the time. I had a good time. Did you have a good time?
I always have a great time. Always a pleasure talking to you about University of Texas football, and thanks for tuning in, everybody. We appreciate it.
Yeah, now I'm about to go donate some money to McKinney because they're in dire straits right now.
They're like that bond measure really cleaned them out. So.
Yeah, like the citizens have been put on the streets. Okay, all right, great, Marcus. Well, have a good week.
You as well. Bye-bye.
What a burger.
You are listening to the Longhorn Podcast. To the Longhorn Podcast.
End zone ahead, folks. Touchdown, Longhorns.
With Danny. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. And Marcus. Does somebody know the number for Pluckers? Released once a week every Tuesday. Much better than all those other Longhorn podcasts. You are listening to the Longhorn Podcast. To the Longhorn Podcast.